us and the collaboration that we're going to have going forward.
No better way to communicate to your audience.
How do we grow strategically now that we've gotten the right path forward? Sorry, we're doing a little desk lift here. Hey guys, hope you're doing awesome today. Agents Who Win, welcome back from Thanksgiving. I had to raise my desk because I feel like standing today while we do this show. Daniel, I appreciate you coming on today. We're doing Why the Team Model Works for Me. I'm Todd Schroth, your host. Happy December. We are wrapping our year up, trying to help some agents understand some different models and really learn about what we're doing in the business here. Daniel, thank you for jumping on today.
Absolutely, Todd. Thanks for having me, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Hope you had a good time.
Well, after Thanksgiving, it's almost like Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I know. It's a quarter of the way there.
Yeah.
Feels like it.
Oh,
anyway.
We were in Vegas a few weeks ago for our conference, and somebody's, this is like first part of November, and somebody's like, Happy Holidays. I'm like, it can't be the holidays already. Come on. So,
it's too soon.
Well, I appreciate you jumping on today. Daniel, you're firefighter, also real estate. I want to understand why real estate?
Well, real estate was always like a 10-year goal for me. Even when I first joined the fire department, I saw a few of my friends that were into real estate, and I was always one of those guys that was really interested in just looking at homes, property values, and I caught myself doing that for probably about a year before I realized, why am I not getting paid for, looking up homes and giving people advice on things that I just kind of picked up as a novice, not realtor, but just somebody who's looking at homes and looking at property values and watching trends and stuff like that. I found myself really enjoying it. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go, feet first and make this a career for me. So.
No, I love it. And it's funny because I was talking to another firefighter. It's like everybody in the truck is a firefighter, is a realtor. And I was like,
yeah.
So you guys it's hard to see who the other one's going to work with for the, for buying the house or whatever's going on.
Yeah. Well, I think the fire department kind of sets you up to be a realtor with all the free time that you have. So
yeah,
it works out.
Growing up, we had a lot of friends that were in the fire department that were firefighters as well, and all of them had a side business. And it was just because you're working a day, you've got 2 days off. They're either contractors or running other businesses, which I think is great because you've got a full time. You can create a second opportunity for yourself and really live a nice lifestyle sitting there.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I even had a lawn company for a little while, and then I got tired of being in the heat and being sweaty because I do that all day at the fire department anyway. So, but
it's already hot enough in your job. You don't need two of them doing the same thing.
But it does allow me to do real estate full time as well. So
yeah,
I bring my office to the station whenever I'm
Well, with Don, when we were talking with him, he's like, yeah, obviously we got calls, I got to jump off the phone, but 9 out of 10 times we're hanging out at the station doing stuff, cleaning trucks, whatever's going on, whatever you guys do on a daily basis, but it allows me to have that opportunity to be able to do stuff.
Oh yeah. I multitask. I mean, I'm talking to clients while I'm checking my trucks out. I'm checking all my EMS equipment out. I've got a client on the phone with me, so
that's awesome. And a lot of the clients respect what you're doing too. So I think that helps. Because if they see you got a second job or something, they're like, well, we want a full-time agent. Like, no, this is something I'm full-time at. I have the opportunity to be able to do this stuff. So I think the clients love that.
Well, I like to help people. So helping people at their worst time. Yeah. Helping people at their worst time is rewarding, but it wears on you. I'd rather start helping people in the happiest times of their life.
Yeah.
Instead of, always showing up when the worst times.
You can always find that fire sale, huh? Bad joke.
Yeah.
So, how long you been in real estate?
A year, let's say October, November, December, a year and 3 months, something like that. Yeah.
What's your business been like? I know you just recently joined a team, but what was your business like before you were at Watson before? Mm-hmm. I guess what made you choose the individual route in the beginning and the brokers that you were with before?
To be honest with you, the reason why I chose the location I was at, it was close to my daughter's daycare. It was close to the ex-wife at the time was her business or clinic. So it was real convenient at the time. And then kind of like, being that like self motivator, that self worker, it was kind of easy for me to it was hard for me actually to rely on other people. Like I had to do it myself to get the work done or to do it the way I wanted it to be done. And after a while, I learned my time is actually really valuable, and to be a single agent working for myself it eats up a lot of your time. I see a lot of agents that are successful, and obviously you don't want to get into anything, unless you want to be successful at it. What's the point? So I would see those guys that were successful and doing it on their own, and they were in the office at 8 a.m. They were leaving the office at 9 p.m. and they were on the road all day. They didn't see their family, they didn't see their children, they didn't see anybody like that. And I just thought to myself, this is really not the path for me as far as, I get to keep more of my commission, but what's it really costing me? What's $1,000 extra? That's really nothing in the long scheme of things.
Well, I was at a board meeting 2 days ago, and one of them's like, "Yeah, I do my own social media, I do all this stuff," and I'm like, "I do my own video edits." I'm like, for me to sit there and learn how to do social media top notch or learn how to do video edits top notch, it just doesn't make sense because I make a lot more selling houses than I do doing video edits. I make a lot more selling houses than I do running my transactions, and I don't want to be doing paperwork at 9 o'clock at night. So those guys that are individuals running from 8 to 9. They need to hire the assistant or hire the next person, help them grow, and they become a team, or an individual agent with a couple of assistants. I know some individual agents that sell 150 homes a year that have 3 or 4 people in the background helping them do everything. All they got to do is concentrate on the clients. But they've got a system and a path down to keep that system rolling and working, doing that. So. What made you choose the brokerage before? Not location wise, but where that location was. There's like 6 brokers there.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. The reason why I actually chose that was because of the broker at the time.
Okay.
Well, I think he's still the manager broker there. Wealth of knowledge, great guy, and everything. At the end of the day, their motto, the way they operated just wasn't a fit for me personally. Has nothing to do with the people in the office. It has nothing to do with the broker himself. It just wasn't a good fit for me.
Okay.
So he's the broker there. His name is Guy Sanchez. He's a great broker, wealth of knowledge. He's actually sat I think he was on the FREC board when I was there. So he kept me out of trouble a lot. So I'd
That's
say,
always good.
"Hey, is this a violation or something?" He's like, "No, you can go ahead and do it," or "No, that's a violation. Don't do that." So
if you think it's a violation, it probably is, so you shouldn't do it.
Yeah. So that helped me out a lot, especially in the beginning, because as a new agent, you got so many ideas that you want to do, and then you turn out that those aren't really the best practices.
Yeah.
Even though you don't intend to violate any ethics or codes or anything like that.
Well, it's 20 years coming in the business, and I'm still like learning what can and cannot be done because stuff keeps changing.
Constantly.
I just got elected to the board of directors for our local association, and I just got out of a leadership meeting, and I was like, man, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background at the board people do not realize, and the stuff that people do out there, like we're like inside now learning this stuff versus like hearing it on the streets. This is like we're here. I mean, there's like so many different committees to keep people in line, and like, will they just leave me alone and let me sell houses? Kind of like an HOA. Can I just let the weed grow, or can I just paint my house pink? No, there's a certain guideline you have to follow to keep our community or our industry intact. And for me personally, like my other brokerage I was there as long as I was because I respected and loved our broker we had. And it was time for obviously growth and change, and you have to step out, and that's what you did too, which was smart. It's like, I love you, but I got to step back, and I got to grow, and I can't grow here the way I am. And you want to grow inside of a team and help that and be part of something bigger. And that's why that brokerage, I believe, does not have any teams on it. And I can't say that for sure, but I don't know of any that are currently there.
I know, and my office had, they were husband and wife teams.
Yeah, which is normal.
Other than that, there was only one that had a quote team, and it was just another realtor assistant. It wasn't really much of a team.
Yeah.
So it was just another agent on her side.
So you're now a year and a half in, or year in. I know we had a conversation about a year ago about just growth and what you were doing with Don. And what made the change? Was it about 2-3 months now you've been on the team?
I've been on the team, about 2 months now, going on 3.
Okay.
It's been a shock, not really a shock, but it's been like a shock in growth. I probably learned more about not just the real estate aspect, but the running actual like actually running a team and all of the behind the scene work and all that stuff. I learned like more about that in the 3 months that I've been with Don than my whole year that I was with Watson. Because I mean, you can take as many classes as you want, but
Right.
you know, unless you're feet on the ground and you're putting in the you know the hours and you have the guidance, you really doesn't really click. At least not for me. You know, I'm the type of person that, you know, in order to swim, you just throw me in the pool. Like,
well, you've got to be out and you got to see what other people are doing, and people that are doing more than you. If you can swim with them, you're going to be a lot better, and you're going to learn to grow, you know, beyond them. And that's like Don was on our team for 2 years, and when he said, "Hey, you know what? I'm ready to grow." Cool, let's figure out a growth plan for you. And that's the same thing. You're coming in, you know, being on his team and learning like what needs to be done and all the hustle that's done in the background, because we're running businesses. We have payrolls. We have, you know, there's just, it's not like I'm going to go list a house here and then 6 months later list another house. No, it's a business. We have certain things we want you as agents to be able to do because we want to help you grow. And if we can't provide you the business and the help to do that, you're going to fail. And we don't want you know, I don't want a bunch of failing agents on the team. We want people who want to succeed. And that's, you know, good coming in because now you're seeing it happen more often. You know, you can go from 1 or 2 deals a month to 3 or 4 or whatever the numbers were, and you can actually make more money on a team than you can individually because you have more resources to pull from, and more people working together as a collaborative operation.
I mean, the turning point for me was, you know, Don, he had shared a few of the things that he's done, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, you know, when do you have time to make these FSBO packets to these like, where do you find all this time? He's like, dude, I don't do any of this stuff. He's like, I'm a part of a team, and each, you know, it's like, dude, I talk to clients and I sell houses, you know. I'm like, here I am, you know, I'm waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning just so I can, you know, scroll through, make a Facebook ad or something like that. And the turning point for me was, you know, I hadn't been on a date in months with my girlfriend, and we decided to go on a date, and just so happens, you know, a house goes back on the market. My buyers really want it, and I've got nothing with me, you know, and that's when he introduced me to, hey, you need to get a transaction coordinator. She takes care of all that, you know, they'll take care of all that for you. And, you know, after that deal went through and I closed on that deal, and, you know, it ruined like 3 of my dates that I tried to finally go on, submitting contracts on my phone because I don't have my computer everywhere with me. And I was like, you know what, I need to reevaluate, think about some stuff. So I took about a month before reaching out to Don and be like, hey man, we need to talk. Like, what's going on here?
And that's pivotal because, like, I don't want to be at the beach worrying about a transaction, or I don't want to be up at 6 in the morning putting packets together for my open house. There's people to help with that, or just doing transactions. I mean, because it is, you know, you get that call, the house just came back on the market. There's someone to help you in the background as well. So if you can't be there, there's someone that's supporting you who can be there as well, whether it's a team member or the team leader, there to be able to work with you and help. And I mean, I think that's key.
Yeah, I mean, you know, since I joined the team, I mean, my CRM is blown up, absolutely blown up. You know, I guess the way I was doing my ads and lead capturing wasn't exactly the greatest. The value that I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, but you know, you give a part of your commission to the team, but when I break it down, and you know, I go, hey, well, you know what, I don't pay for a transaction coordinator. You know, we have somebody behind the scenes setting up my email, setting up my cards, setting up all of this other stuff. You know, we have Facebook ads that are going that I don't pay for. I mean, I do through whatever sales I make, but you know what? On the back end of it, I'm actually coming out ahead because even if I give, you know, let's say if I give 50% of my commission, you know, how much money would I spent just to get that one lead, you know, in the process, and then the transaction coordinator, whatever her cost or his cost is. So at the end of the day, you know, I'm really not losing out on much money. That money would have been gone anyway on all these other back end deals that the team just kind of takes care of for me. And like you said, you know, before I had a team, you know, I would be like, hey, I need to show a house, but I would have to rely on agents that are other single agents. And of course, they want some sort of compensation or something like that to go open a house. But then it's like, you know, are they available? Because they got their own thing going on. And if they are available, how well can I trust them? You know, I have had some issues where agents were late that were stepping in for me. They were late to showings. The buyer's really upset, or they didn't, you know, they couldn't figure out the lockbox. Or being on that team, you know, that's, you guys work together, you know each other, you trust each other, and you know, the team is it's almost like a little family together. But yeah, it's helped out quite a bit. I mean, I know Don had to run. I have a house under contract that was supposed to close today, but we had to push it back. He ran all the way out to Cocoa for me because I was out of town. Yeah, he went out to Cocoa to open a house for me, even though I did the video walkthrough and she wanted to make an offer, but she just had to see it first.
Right.
So, which is no problem, but he stepped up and did the same. And when he was out of town, I did the same for him. I ran all the way out to DeLand and showed his buyers around.
Well, that's the thing. It's a collaborative effort, and you guys are willing to help each other, and everyone's, we're in it for the team. We're not in it for ourselves. And that's what, we were asking what the, value of leadership or a team is. And it's getting everybody on the same page, on the same path forward to work on one goal versus a bunch of individual goals. If we can set one goal together and work on it together, we're going to achieve a lot more individual goals together than we will everyone just running out and doing their own thing and trying to work under a brand. So I think it's good the way you guys are helping each other out. And that's what the idea is, because the individual agent doesn't have any sort of financial benefit of them going to show a house, because they're doing you a favor. If they respected you and did that, they would be there on time and showing it. But where's their first value going to go? I just got a call for a showing. I need to go do that one. So I need to reschedule Daniel's showing.
Exactly.
So that's the challenge.
Exactly. I mean, and the ones that I could actually that were available were the newer agents that have only been on like maybe 2 or 3 months. And, maybe they, I don't know what background they come from, so, cause since 2020, I mean, I would see, we would hire on 20, 30 agents and then they're there because they need something, but then they realize all the back end work, how much money it costs, how much time and effort it costs. They're like, you know what? I thought this was for me. This isn't for me.
There's a lot of turnover. So right now I was at the board when the board meeting on Tuesday or Wednesday. He's like, we've got 20,000 realtors currently in the Orlando market, and there's 3,500 active listings. So for every listing, there's 5 agents trying to sell that, and he's expecting our growth to grow another 1,000 agents. And so we're going to be at 21,000. Now, after that, it's going to start dying down because what happens? Renewals. They start coming in, and then we're going to start losing agents because they didn't sell anything. And if they're going to have to pay $2,000 to the fees and all that stuff, they're going to end up getting out of it. So it's the people who want to get into this and be long-term, get on a team, learn the business, and then grow outside of the team. That's the goal. I mean, if you love the concept and the people you're around, stay on it. If you want to grow as an individual, get on the team, grow and learn, and then go off. So a couple questions I have for you. For agents that are out there considering a team, what are let's start with number one, what do they look for in the team leader?
Okay, that's actually a really good question, because since I've left my last brokerage, I've actually had agents reach out to me because they've seen, because we were in the office, they've seen, my post, hey, pending, new client, going on this, going on that. They've seen the difference in just how busy I've gotten, how much more successful I've gotten. So they reach out to me and they ask me, hey, why, what's it like? What do you do? What do I need to do? And the one thing I kind of explain to them is like, you need to find a team that's not going to treat you like an employee. There's a lot of teams out there that they just want you to answer phones. That's it. Hey, get me listings, or get me prospects. And then there's teams out there that say, hey, you're just my buyer's agent. So you kind of want a team. One thing that I did like, before I even started and signed the paperwork and joined with EXP and joined on the Sprinkle Legacy group, was Don sent me over a course on how a business operates, and how to change your mindset, and the fact that, hey, keeping track of your numbers is just as important as picking the phone up and calling them. So those are, building yourself. And then, one of the conversations was, he goes, hey, if you leave here in 2 years, I won't be offended. I'll actually be proud. But if you want to stay, that's fine, obviously. But I have no problem with you going, hey, you know what? I'm outgrowing this. I want to start my own. I want to, do it on my own. And right there to help me out. Just the same way he left you, I might leave him. Like that's what you really want to look for.
I don't want to say it this way, but you're like our kids. We come in, we nurture you, we grow you, and then we send you off to college, and then you're like, Don's with us 2 years, and all of a sudden now he's a team leader, and he's got 2-3 buyers agents on his team, and he's trying to grow and being successful at it right out the gates. And I've had two
Right.
agents leave to do that, and they both have left, and they're more successful, which is great because we've taught them the right ways and what to do, and they're taking that same stuff and implementing it. And
Right.
some people don't want to grow, and not I don't want to say that they don't want to grow. They don't want to try and do what we're doing, recreate. They either want to be on a team or just be an individual, which is cool. But if you want to be on a team and you're leaving a team to create one, that's awesome because it means you've studied everything we've done and learned exactly what it is. And now you're recreating that wheel. And now we've got a spinoff, which is perfect.
Right.
I love it. And so it's like we know you now, we know you're successful and you've learned and you're on the right track forward to trying to build a bigger business. So I mean
Right.
that's kudos. I love that part. Like as a team leader, don't find someone who treats you like an employee, but like a business partner, because you are a business partner in the business.
Right, exactly. And you know, and one of the good things about or value, I should say, especially with working with Don, is it's not, you know, it's hey, it's Don's team. It's got his name on the shirts, it's on the whatever. But basically whenever I talk to a client or I talk to, hey, you know, I got a great team. You know, I'm a part of the team. You know, when you feel like it's a part of you, part of your own, you know, you take kind of pride and ownership in it. And as an employee, I mean, employees don't take pride and ownership in the
No.
company. I mean, ask a McDonald's worker how prideful they are of McDonald's. They don't care. They're in there
Yeah.
to clock in and make a paycheck. But you know, with the model that, you know, Don learned from you, and then that Don's teaching myself and another agent that we have brought on that actually followed me from my brokerage that I had left. He followed me. Yeah, he called me up, and we signed him up, got him on board, and he's going through the process right now. But it's to take, you know, hey, this is our team. So whenever you talk to people, hey, it's just as much as your team as it is my team. I'm just the leader of the team. So and it's been real helpful because I, you know, I'll lean on Don and I'll lean on whatever support that we have, whether it's email issues, whether it's transaction issues, whether it's just, hey, you know what, I'm kind of scratching my head on this. How should I go about like writing this offer or wording this offer or something like that? So that's because learning from their either mistakes or successes too, because they can teach you from their successes as well.
Well, that's a big thing because it's like you're going in there, you're growing, you guys are bringing people in and keeping that rolling. And you've got to lean on us. I mean, that's what we're here for. And you know, if
Yeah.
you ever need anything, it's like same thing when you first came on, when you first sat down a year ago, I was in the meeting with you guys. Like, all right, what is it you're looking for? What can we provide and all that stuff? And I love he's giving you that business plan to go like learn this and then come talk to me. And
Right.
you know, we can grow this thing together. And yeah, it's my name or whatever side the shirt's on. I'm looking in the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my name on the shirt, but it's our business.
Right.
And so, like, you've closed your first deal with EXP already. So you've got, if you looked at your ShareWorks account, you have stock in the company. So you're technically an owner in the company.
Right. No, I haven't. And that's the thing too. It's really funny because, you know, going with Watson's like, oh, it was so beat like Watson, like learn Watson.
Yeah,
I'm still learning about EXP itself as a brokerage because I've invested so much time in the team itself and the way the team operates. I mean, I don't even use my email address for EXP or anything like that for any of my transactions. I use my team's
yeah,
email. So I'm still kind of, you know, learning the brokerage part of itself. So I didn't leave, to be honest with you. I mean, I didn't come to EXP because of EXP. I came to EXP because of the team that I wanted to be a part of.
correct.
And I think that's, you know, a big, if you're looking to join a team, you know, research the team itself. The brokerage is great, but you know what? A successful
This
team is
is who
going to be
you're
a
working
successful
with
team with.
right here. Todd
Yeah.
Schroth, not EXP. This is
Right.
not like an EXP game. This is like you're working with us because like if I was to show you, hey, join my team, we're gonna have all these tools we can use, and like we got KV Core, we have like all this other EXP stuff. We don't use any of those tools. We use
Right.
third-party stuff that work at a level that we want to work at, and not to say that those don't, just haven't dug into them.
Right.
There is a lot of tools in the background you could spend time learning, and if you're not going to use them, don't learn them. Learn them. Like for me, I know enough about some of the tools so I can like not teach them because like you wouldn't understand if I tried to teach it because I don't know anything about it. But I could talk about it and give you some of the value of what's there if you're an individual agent and why you should work with it. If you're a team, obviously use the team's tools because that's where everything's going to be done. Like for
Right.
like our email addresses are all run through our follow-up boss. You have to use our team Schroth, otherwise it doesn't sync with everything that's there.
Right.
You need to know your EXP email because that's where all your stuff they send out is sent through that, the company email address. And it'll
Right.
just forward your Gmail email account for things. So it's kind of a back and forth. So as we're wrapping up, I had a couple of the questions I had forgotten. I need to write these things down because they're good as I'm thinking about them. But what do you see what do you have your goals for the team and like your transactions? Where are you seeing your business coming from? Are you still seeing like more repeat and referral, or are you seeing trying to do more online stuff?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of learning the whole process between like the video.
Okay.
One thing I didn't do a lot of when I was with my last brokerage was a lot of like videos, and not just like YouTube or video ads or anything like, but actually sending videos to the clients, like
Yep.
thanking them or talking to them or something like that. The things that just you don't get taught, by a brokerage class or something like that. The teams, they figure these things out and they teach you. So things like that. Right now, my CRM is flooded so much with buyers that I'm trying to keep my head above water, just talking with them and setting appointments with them and going on listings and showings with that. But personally, just from my activity online, I mean, right now I just submitted an offer this morning for somebody who is an agent out, who let her license go voluntary inactive. She left her brokerage, but she called me up because she saw my activity on social media. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm growing a lot faster than I thought I would by joining the team. It's a little scary, but if it doesn't scare you, then you're not doing it right. So, the team helps me out with that. Like the other day, I know Don, went through and he saw that I was kind of a little behind on some of my tasks. So he jumped on there, and with our new agent that joined our team, they picked up the slack for those tasks, making calls to clients and stuff like that, because I was out showing all day. So that's another value for the team is, we all work together. Everything gets done. You can't score a touchdown individually. The whole team takes an effort. So
Correct. I mean, if everyone was going for the touchdowns, then you'd have every football player out there trying to run and grab the ball and go. But there's guys that are trained not to get the touchdown. You have 3 or 4 key people that are set for that, and those are the ones you want to get the ball to because they're going to get it there. Otherwise, you're going to. I don't do football, but I'm going to probably screw myself up making an analogy on it. But you don't want the big guy in the back that's the blocker, trying to run with the ball because all those little guys are going to just knock them down and get it. It's not going to work. So that's why you have that team and that group effort going there. So
if nobody blocks, then
Yeah, and then that way I can't get through, and I couldn't run fast enough, so it wouldn't be me going either.
Right.
But just some things when people are looking at the teams, like you look at your team leader, who you're working with. Don't worry about the brokerage. The brokerage has nothing to do with it. It's what the team leaders bringing to the table, and then look at the assets they have behind them. Who is their support system that they have? Do they have assistants? Do they have closing coordinators? Do they have a marketing person? If it's all outsourced, cool. How long have those outsourced people been there? If they're in person, how long have they been there? How long have the agents been on the team, and what kind of transaction history are those guys doing as well? Are some other things that you'll want to look at. And if you're a new team, like Don's just getting started, what is he putting in place now to bring value to you? Because I see people wanting to start teams, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to just jump out and do it, and I'll just you have no tools in place. Don is very methodical about how he put it all together and had everything in place when he started bringing people on. So you landed into the right pocket there. Because if I just went up and said, hey, I want to start a team, then I've been doing this for 10 years as far as being a team leader, and we've been building tools and tools and tools over the last 10 years. We're still building, we're still learning. And so it's an ever growing process, but it's ever growing because we're wanting it to grow more. And so we're adding in more tools and more things like that and hiring more key people in the office.
Well, I mean, before I made the decision, I watched Don for probably about 7 months.
Yeah.
And I watched the transactions he went through, and I watched, and maybe we had a few meetings, and before I even made the decision to, and when I seen he started his own team, I called him and I was like, hey, let's sit down, let's talk about some stuff, and but I was behind the scenes watching before I even made the decision to jump over, because I already knew I was getting into something that was going to be groundbreaking and
Yeah.
put me as an agent ahead of
Guinea
where I
pig.
would have been. Yeah.
But
Hey, you know what? It
it's
works.
good. I mean, you're coming in at the right time because you can be the one to grow with him and grow the way it needs to grow. You know,
Right.
Daniel, I appreciate you jumping on here today. Some good tools. I love just kind of talking and just bantering on what people have done, their backgrounds, their history, and everything. And as we wrap this year up, guys, for everyone that's listening, we've got a couple more interviews with some new agents or newer agents who are joining teams and why they're doing that, and why newer agents should consider that. Even seasoned agents that are trying to grow further, to look at joining teams and what value that brings. Daniel, I want to thank you again. Any kind of final words you want to throw out to the audience here?
As far as if you're looking to expand yourself as an agent and but the commission splits or whatever, that's what's holding you back from doing that, sit down. I would advise you write every single expenditure you have just to have one lead come through your door, one transaction completed, and then see what it would have cost you just to have the time and effort. What's your time worth? So you're spending all this time and money. Why not get your time back and spend pretty much almost the exact same amount of money, but just to the team?
Time, money, and freedom.
Money, and freedom. Yeah, that's
a key
right.
thing. I want to just dive into that before we shut down. So I had two agents say, I don't want to pay a double split. And I'm like, you're not so if you figure every brokerage out there, unless you're an independent, every brokerage out there has a franchise fee on it. It's got some sort of money that comes off the top. And most all of them, it's however many deals you're going to do, you're paying 5, 6, 7, 8% off the top. So there's, let's say you're 100%, you knock 6 or 7 off the top. So now you're at 93%. Well, I'm going to tell you, you're at call it 50-50. Well, you're really at like a 60-40 because we got the money coming off the top and you're losing even more from there. So it's not losing, you're paying even more from there. And right. So whatever brokerage you're at, you're on a team, you're at a double split because you have the main broker fee and then you have the team money. And I don't control the money at the top at EXP or Remax or C21 or anything. I can't do anything about that. What I can do is my internal stuff. That's just a cost of doing business with this company. Only way to avoid that is go off on my own and be my own broker, which I don't want to do. I contemplated that 3 years ago. But it's like they've got to get that double split out of their head. It's just a franchise fee. And this isn't a franchise model that we're both working in, but it's worry about what's here and worry about how much you want to make and take home. And then that's what you need to concentrate on, because they get this and they get splits in their head. Like, I don't want to work for that. I don't want to do this. That's crazy what you're paying. Your point exactly. Think about all the fees you're paying and all it's going to take to get that one lead in. And you're going to end up paying the same thing,
Right. And even if you're getting 100% from your brokerage, if you are not getting people through your door, 100% of zero is zero.
Exactly.
So, that's simple.
I've interviewed a lot of people that were doing 100% companies, and I'm like, still 3 years later, we're talking to them again. So how's it going over there? Oh, it's great, man. I'm crushing it. Why would I want to even move to EXP because of the splits? And I'm paying 100%. I'm like, you sold 4 houses last year.
Yeah.
So I
got 4 under contract in a month.
I could bring you in here and show you how to get more going faster and close more deals and pay 20% or whatever it is. And just jump, because you're going to realize you're actually making money versus losing and sitting at the 100% company.
What people don't understand either is, when you talk to somebody on the streets or you talk to somebody online or they look you up, a lot of people, they look you up online. Yeah. You know what? I made, let's just say I made $7,000 per transaction. I made 4 deals last year, but that's more money I have. But you know what? When you talk to somebody, how many houses did you sell last year? I sold 4 houses last year, but then you talk to somebody on a team, man, I sold 32 houses last year.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, wow. Even though, I paid a lot more out in splits, but to that new person, they're like, wow, this guy sells a lot more houses. He must be doing a lot better. They don't see, how much you make in the back end. They don't care. They want to know how many transactions you've completed.
So you're selling 32 homes this year on a team, for example. That's 30 more opportunities you're going to have for referrals coming into you personally that we're going to put into your lap versus 4. So if you could take 30 of those out of that 30, if you can take 10 and just really engage with them, that's going to bring you more repeat and referral business. Right. Like Don's got this one expired. She's like his referral queen. I mean, like,
Right.
how can I provide you guys lunches? You guys, every time I walk into your place, I get another buyer or seller out of you.
Right.
So it's like,
I mean, if it wasn't for the team, Todd, if it wasn't for the team, I have a buyer right now under contract, which came from a referral from you,
yeah,
and she thinks I'm the LeBron James of real estate. She thinks I am Superman realtor. But the team itself is, carrying a lot of the weight that I would have had to do myself.
yeah,
So for me to be able to pick up the phone for her to get a lot of things done, she thinks I mean, I give credit where credit's due. I tell her, hey, listen, you know,
it's a,
my
it's a
transaction
collaborative
coordinator,
effort.
she's the, keeping the blood pumping over here. And then, but does at the end of the day, she is like, I'm going to refer everybody out to
Yeah.
you, my daughter, everybody. So,
And that's the king. You've done your job right. So now you have a new referral source over there that you do. Obviously that was a referral from another brokerage. So you don't pay any more referral fees on it. You just have the team splits involved. So, but
right.
you've got it's been a new client introduced to you that you may not have had otherwise.
Would not have had.
No.
Absolutely would not have had. Yeah.
Well, sir, I appreciate you jumping on today. We're a little over, but I appreciate everyone, diving in and just listening and see what we got here. This will be replayed on YouTube as well. Guys, jump in next week. Got another agent jumping on with us, Chris, with our team, who's coming on, who's a 2-year veteran, jumping into the team to want to sell more real estate. So, Daniel, I appreciate you, and we'll see you guys here around soon.
Thank you, Todd.
Yep, thank you.